We are back. We are back. We are back. Back in the building. Back in the building. Back in the building. Like we never left. Let me know where you checking in from. Hit that like button. Hit that like button as you come on into the room. I see Axel's in the building already. What is going on? What's going on? Come on in. Come on in. Hit that like button. And let me know where you guys are checking in from. Let me know where you checking in from. Making sure everything is on the up and up before we get started. Brian Watkins in the building. Let me know where you guys checking in from. How's everybody doing this Thursday night? Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is healthy. Hope everybody is prosperous, running their box trucks, running their cargo vans. Hope everybody's staying out of trouble and staying out of the way. Staying out of trouble and staying out of the way. Miami on the check-in. Low-key Ace, what's going on? All right, we streaming tonight. We are streaming tonight on Facebook, and we are streaming on YouTube. All right, we're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. Let me know where you guys checking in from. Everything is on the up and up. Atlanta in the building. Florida in the building. ATL in the building, Miami on the check-in, VA in the building, Axel in the building. Cheers. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody feeling tonight? All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about your network is your net worth, all right? Your network is your net worth. And this is something that I see people tell people, oh, well, relationships are important, but no one really breaks down why they're important and how to build relationships in your business, box truck business, cargo van business, trucking business, or just business in general. I try to create topics that are pertaining to the box truck, the cargo van community, but these techniques you can use pretty much in any business. So relationships are very important. I think when I was starting early on, me building healthy, strong relationships also enabled me to, continue to rise up and continue to grow. And I think without building healthy relationships, I wouldn't have been able to do and accomplish a lot of the things that I accomplished early on. And I'm going to do some parallels with some of the things that I'm going to talk about tonight in parallel with things that I went through during my growing and scaling stages when I was building my box truck business, from the trucking side and from the moving side. So relationships were very, very necessary for my growth. And I'm going to give you some techniques and some things that you guys need to practice and implement into your business so that you can also grow. All right. So come on in. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. We got 10 people in the building. We had 20 something. And half the people left because this is an interesting topic for them. They don't care about building relationships in their business, but I don't care. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going because I'm here to help people build their business, given the knowledge that I've learned over the years and passing it along. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit tired, guys. So excuse me, but passing the information that I've learned along, and those people that are interested in receiving this information, you guys are here. Those who are not, they're going to come in and come out. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. I don't see my moderator here tonight. Is my moderator here? Is Kirk coming back? I don't know. Kirk is on the road. I talked to Kirk, I think yesterday. I talked to Kirk yesterday or the day before. Kirk is on the road right now, so he may be tuning in. He may not be, but I don't know if he's tuned in. If he pops on, I'll drop the link. If you want to pop on, then he'll pop on. I seen a box truck Hold on, let me clear this. Uh-oh, looks like my battery is down on my carbon monoxide. Or smoke. I seen a box truck course said you can become a millionaire in 3 years. It costs $9.97. I think you asked me that last week. I think it's cap. You know what? Let me not say it's cap. I think you can gross $1 million, like I told you. Netting $1 million, I don't think so. It depends on how many trucks you can gross, you can net. It depends on how many trucks you're running. All right, 3 years, I don't, I don't. I think that's kind of premature to say. You know what I'm saying? Because you do got to go through that learning curve. Um, a lot of the things that you would need to grow and scale your business, I pretty much tell people for free. You know what I'm saying? If you just listen to some of the things that I talk about on Sunday nights, Thursday nights, and Tuesday nights when I start back, I'm just giving you a blueprint of what worked for me and just a general blueprint. And I give it to you for free. All right, it doesn't cost you $9.97. All right, if you just stick to the basic fundamentals. One is doing your proper research in your area. You know what I'm saying? You could start a moving company in an area where a lot of people aren't moving. You know what I'm saying? So you can build this box truck or start this box truck moving company, right? But not make $1 million because you didn't do the proper research. Or you may be in an area where you want to do local home delivery, right? But if you didn't do your proper research and you see that that area is not um, uh, the volume isn't there for home delivery, you're not gonna make that $1 million. So it's a certain way you have to enter uh, this industry, no matter what space you're in, which is going to determine what your fate is going to be in the industry. And I don't think that requires you spending $1,000 on a book, because not everyone's situation, not everyone's journey is going to be the same. All right, the only way to really ensure your success is entering correctly and doing the proper research, so you know which lane to enter and how to enter correctly. So, uh, how did I meet Kurt? I met Kurt on here on YouTube. So which is a good talking point about networking. So Kurt is a person that I met. He's a fellow content creator in this space, and we share obviously similar interest in the space. And I, from the first time I saw his videos, I immediately knew that he knew what he was talking about in comparison to like a lot of the other people that I see, and watch online. I could tell immediately that he had experience as far as years in the business based off what he was talking about. I really didn't hear anyone talking from when I first came across one of his videos or his live. I really hadn't heard anyone else talking um, how he was talking, so I knew he had experience. So that is what drove me to watching more of his content. And I think when he talked about how he came across me, people were saying, "Man, you gotta check me out," and he pretty much said the same thing. So as far as like content creators, as far as this space, me and him probably are the most tenured that I've come across as far as the ones that are really out there. I know you got your big boys, Big Vic, but he did a video today where he says he's been in it 2 years. Think box truck couple 2 years. A few other people, they haven't really been in it as long. So yeah, that's how we met. We just share similar interests and we network. You know what I'm saying? We do talk. We bounce things off. We talk about the industry, as far as where it's going, where it's been, things like that. So it goes back to like what we're talking about today, networking. We may do something in the future, we may not, but that's why you network. You never know what a person's path may be in the future, and you may need that person, or vice versa, or you may be able to combine and create something new and make money from it. So networking. Can I use your network advice and apply it to semi truck? Yeah, because this is just basic knowledge. The information I'm going to give you tonight is just going to be basic information. but not everybody may know this information. If you're new into business, this may not be information um, that you are privy to. So come on in. I'm gonna get started. Hit that like button. Shout out to Pippi. Pippi is in the building. Pippi is in the building. Shout out to her. Pippi, tonight we're not playing no games. I'm tired. All right. And anybody coming here with some foolishness, go ahead and smoke them out. Don't waste no time. We ain't asking no questions. We shooting first, taking names later. Smoke them out of here. We're not playing no games. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Come on in. We're gonna get started. So tonight, your network is your net worth. All right, and people are looking at that. I know, like, what do you mean? All right, because how's your network, your net worth? How does your network equate to monetary or money? All right, and it's simple. It's very, very simple, and we're going to get into that now. Let me remove Jeremiah's comment from off the screen. I put a little flow chart together earlier, and I'm going to put that on the screen now so that I can hit my talking points, and then we're going to. All right, so let's talk about networking road to success. All right, and this is something that I want you guys to focus on. I got 3 key things on networking. All right, guys, and networking is very, very important when you're building your box truck business, when you're building your cargo van business, when you're building any business. Your network is your net worth. All right, your network. The more your network is, the more money you can make currently and you can make in the future. All right, so let's talk about it. I got my notes here. I got some talking points on the screen, and we're gonna get started. All right, let's talk about mutual trust. All right, if you want people to work with you, they have to trust you. All right, they got to trust you. All right, when you're building relationships. All right, box trucking. All right, if you're running final mile, you're running middle mile, moving company, whatever, cargo van company, you're dealing with a few different people. You're dealing with operations managers. All right, you're dealing with dispatchers. You're dealing with dock people. All right, you're dealing with a plethora of different people, and how you deal with these people is going to determine ultimately your success. And I'm going to do some parallels with some of these topics or some of these talking points parallel to things that I've come across in my business over the years, and then you guys can take this information and kind of do some compare and contrast and take it with you for the future if you're in a situation like this as well. So running final mile, my trucks, my staff over the years has went in many different third party logistics warehouses, and I've had to deal with many people on many different levels, from dispatchers to operations managers to the branch managers, the accounting people at these different third-party logistics companies, just different management. I can't think of all the different managerial terms that I've dealt with people, but just a bunch of people in these third-party logistics companies. Now, how I've dealt with them in the past have determined my success. All right, operations managers, I know they handle the operations. I know they're responsible for pushing those routes out. The dispatchers, I know when my guys go into these third-party logistics companies, the dispatchers are responsible for giving them the routes. I want my trucks to come back every day. I want them to get in and I want them to get out. So my relationships with the dispatchers, I make sure I have a good relationship with the dispatcher, but I also make sure I have a good relationship with the operations manager. There was an operations manager at Dynamics years ago, and she was the operations manager there, but then she left to take a better position at a medical supply company doing medical supply delivery, not specimens, but supplies. And when she left that company, I didn't never tell this story before. She had trouble, delivering the hospital beds, because when this new position she was in with the medical supply company, they were dealing with vans. All the ICs over there, all the ICs were dealing with vans. So the beds is where she always had an issue with. All right, but because of the relationship that I built with her when she was at the previous company, she didn't put an ad up on the job boards or the load boards or the trucking boards for new ICs with trucks to pick up these hospital beds and deliver them to wherever they need to go, she reached into her Rolodex, her network, and she called someone that she trusted. All right. I built a trust up with her. All right. How did I build this trust up with her? I've talked about this before. ICs, independent contractors, they're not reliable. All right, they've never were reliable in any warehouse that I've been to in the past. But I always made sure my trucks were where they needed to be. Even if I had an internal issue going on earlier that morning, that wasn't something, that issue, I didn't pass that on to the third party logistics company that I was running for. I made sure that someone was in that truck and that truck was where it needed to be, because ultimately that's how my company made money. All right. So I always look at it like, well, man, this person called off. I gotta still fill that spot so that this company can still be happy, and so that I can earn from that truck. It was always about earning. Yeah, I want to make this company happy, but the bigger objective for me is to make money from that truck. I don't want to see that truck sitting, and I know that truck has work, and that truck can be making money. All right, so I built up a good relationship with her, so she knew, yo, I can call Mark. Mark is gonna make sure a truck is here, hell or hot water. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. This is something that she said to me in the past. All right, so she reached into her network and she pulled me out of it, because I built that rapport with her. I built that rapport with her by doing what I needed to do. Like I said before, she could depend on me. So you want to be dependable with whoever you're dealing with. If you're running, let's say, over the road, all right, you're dealing with a dispatcher. You got to understand, you're not this dispatcher's only client. You're not this dispatcher's only client. All right, so you have to build a rapport, a relationship with the dispatcher. Whatever you need to do to make sure that she's staying on top of what she needs to stay on top of, or he's staying on top of whatever he needs to stay on top of, to make sure you're getting the proper loads and you're getting routed properly to maximize your earning potential. Same thing with brokers. All right, you want to make sure that you're in these brokers' good graces by doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right, you don't want to fall. These are people that ultimately control how you make money, how much money you make. All right. These are the people that, if you're running that lane, you got to go through. So it's important that you have a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship could start with just being polite. I heard Kirk talk about this on his channel. Like, people's approach when they talk to people nowadays is not inviting. If you're calling someone who ultimately you're calling them for work, all right, you're calling them, they control where you're going, they control the bread, they control the money. Yo, you have to be polite to these people. The way you approach these people, you have to approach them in the right manner. Good morning. Some people just get on the phone. Hey, this so and so. I'm calling about the load. Don't say good morning. Don't say how you doing. Don't say, hey, how's your day? I'm so and so. Introduce yourself. All right, these are very important things that you need to know, and if you plan on building a relationship. All right, so mutual trust. Another situation where I built a healthy, strong relationship, and my network became my net worth, or it increased my net worth. My landlord, my commercial landlord. All right, ultimately, I ended up taking over that warehouse. All right, how did I build that relationship with my landlord, leading into him leaving that place and putting the word in to the bank for me to take it over, right? Um, I understood he was my landlord and I paid my rent on time, but I wanted to take it a step further, because I saw something with him that I could utilize in my benefit, and he saw the same thing as well. So what did I do? Outside of me paying my rent on time, I used the barter system. All right. I knew eventually, or it was a possibility, that one day he may come to me for some type of help. All right. And when he did finally come to me for some type of help, he needed a truck. He needed something moved from one place to another. Not only did I provide the truck and the crew for him, I did it pro bono. I didn't charge him. All right. I didn't charge him, because eventually I knew something. I knew I would need something from him later on down the line. So I built that rapport with him that, hey, you're a businessman, I'm a businessman. You know what? We don't have to exchange money. We can barter. All right. And once I did that first time, we were cool. on speaking terms when we see each other on the property and things of that nature. But I know it's after that first time, I just, I was cool and just he asked me for a service. I provided the service, and I said, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure something out later." All right, it's just a cool way of saying, "Don't worry about it. We'll barter later. We'll figure something out." And later on, we did. When it was time for me to pull that big trailer onto the yard, you know what I'm saying? He said the thing, "Well, how much extras is gonna cost me? Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out." All right. Not only did they run the electric for me, they also ran the plumbing for me. All right. And they did it for a little of nothing. And it took them like a month or two to even get around to tell me how much he was going to charge me for it, which was really nothing. I would have paid thousands on thousands on thousands on thousands on top of what he charged me. You know what I'm saying? But that was from the relationship I built with him. All right. So you want to build relationships, not, and a issue that I see people have nowadays is, people charge the wrong people, but then don't charge the right person. If you got a tool, you got a truck, all right, and someone wants to utilize your tool, first, before you give them a price, because guess what? Nothing is free in this world. It's not. Nothing is free. But is this, first you need to look, is this a person that I may be able to receive some type of value from at a later date? Can we barter? All right. In bartering, can we build a relationship with this barter? You know what I'm saying? Person, you got a box truck. This person, let's say they have a bunch of real estate, right? And you're into moving. All right. I know I got a lot of, well, quite a few people that know I do moving, that watch the channel, that always talk to me and say, "Mark, put out some moving content." So for you guys, if you, let's say you know someone and they ask you, "Hey, I got a tenant that I need to evict," you know what I'm saying? But I'm putting their stuff out. This is the stuff they left behind or whatever. I need you to move it out and haul it to the dump. How much you gonna charge me? Now this is a great opportunity for you to build a relationship with that person, right? For future business. How do you do that? They're a landlord. They got umpteen properties, right? So when people are moving in or people are moving out, this person is the first person to contact for them to say, "Hey, if you're gonna move out here, you use my guys." It's some properties that require you to use the movers that they refer to you. All right. There's some people. There's some management companies that are like that. I know here some buildings won't even let you move in or out unless you use a union company. Some buildings, property manager won't let you move in or out unless you use one of the companies that they refer, that's on their list. All right. So now, by building that type of relationship, you put a stronghold on all those properties. So if this person has, let's say, 10 properties and all the properties have 4 units, now these, you put a stronghold on. Now you've locked in all these units moving in or out. All right. All right. So it's about networking, building, and now by creating that relationship with that person, by networking, you're building your net worth. All right. All right. Because that person is funneling all that work to you. So ultimately, that's building your net worth. All right. I'm looking to get out of the trucking industry altogether, from a consumer, dealing with a consumer, third party logistics company, and from the moving aspect. What's my biggest asset in my moving company? What's my biggest asset? It's not the trucks. It's not none of the equipment. My biggest asset, all right, in my moving company, not the third party logistics company, because I don't control any of the data. All right. The data, right, is the biggest asset. All right. That's my net worth. My data that I've collected over 14 summers. So 13 years, 14 summers. All right. Since 2010 is my biggest asset. But Mark, how is your data your biggest asset? Because all the data that I've collected, my business has collected since 2010, is worth more to any person. If I put that company on the market, they're going to want to know what my network looks like. That's 13 years, 14 summers of data. Customers' names, their addresses, their telephone numbers, the size of moves, all this information is the most important thing, more than the trucks, more than the equipment. The data is worth more than all of it. All right. Companies buy data. They buy it to sell it. They buy it to market to people. All right. Data is very important. That's how Mark Zuckerberg became who he is, off collecting data, right? Collecting data, and then in turn using that data that he collects from you, from Facebook and from Instagram, and then selling it to different companies. All right. And then that's how they target uh, uh, people for specific ads, right? They hear you talking on your phone, or you go on Google and you type Cadillac Escalade. Now you're seeing all Cadillac Escalade ads on your Facebook and on your Instagram, collecting data. All right. Data. So my data is my net worth for my moving company, not the trucks, not the equipment, the data. I have 13 years worth of data, and that's a lot. All right. So data. There's a lot of other ways you can build relationships. We talk about brokers. I gave example of dispatchers. I gave examples of operations managers. I gave examples of landlords, as far as building trust. So then the next one I want to talk about, and I'm keeping this quick. Like I said the other day in the other live, I'm trying to cut these lives down to about 2 hours. So we're gonna, get through this stuff kind of quick, guys. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is your outside network. Your extended network goes far beyond your business or your work network. All right, come on in if you're late. Come on in, hit that like button, hit that like button. Shout out to D Walk in the building. I'm tired and don't mind using the bopper. Okay, don't mind using that bopper. All right, let's talk about the outside network. Let's talk about the outside network. Shout out to everybody that's joined, everybody that's on Facebook, and everybody that is on YouTube. Your outside network. All right. So networking does not necessarily have to be at your place of employment if you're an employee, or if you're a business person, as far as you networking with like operations managers, dispatchers, things of that nature. You can also network if you are an owner operator and you employ people. You can network with your employees as well. Treating a person right, not belittling them, um, is key to a good business person. All right, just because the person works for you doesn't mean you have to make them feel, they already know that you're over them, so you don't have to make them feel like it. And the reason why I say that is because you never know where a person may be a year, 2, 3, 4 years down the line. All right, so you want to treat people fair, and you can network with an employee as well. All right, so the best relationships are probably not from current business or jobs. You never know who you'll meet, where you'll meet them, or where they will be in a year or two. All right, me, I do a lot of things outside of the trucking. I've built apps. I've done a lot of things. I'm currently working on things, and my outside network, um, to me, it's much more important. It's just as important, but it's more important than the network that I have um, built in my business, as far as my trucking business and my moving business. Because when you're out, when I'm out, I meet a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life, and I'm like a vacuum. I listen to everything, even if a person doesn't think I'm listening. I could be in this conversation, but if I hear these people over talking about something that interests me, I'm listening to them. All right, I'm not being nosy, but I'm sucking in information. All right, I suck in information. All right, because I bring it in because I might use it. I might need this information later. I'm looking to start a tech business right now, and I'm working on building this tech business. And I've met some people that are in tech years prior. All right. So even though I wasn't in tech then, or had an idea to jump into tech then, I kept these people around, and I built relationship with them over the years, so that now that I'm looking to enter into that field, I can get information from them. It doesn't look like and to them, it's not like I'm bothering them, or, man, Mark, we ain't heard from you in 3, 4 years. Why are you calling us now because you need our help? It's not like that. All right, it's not like that. So your outside network can be just as important as the network that you are doing, because you don't know what you may want to dibble and dabble into at later times. Your network stays with you, unlike a business. All right, so let's say I want to get out of moving, I want to exit trucking so I can focus more on tech as far as in trucking. Like the tech thing that I'm building now is in trucking. All right, it's in trucking. All right, but guess what? If I exit all the way out of here, my network still comes with me. So even if I'm not fully vested into trucking and moving from a day to day as far as the blue collar level of it, I still got that network. So now if I build this trucking tech company over here, guess who I need to go market and go to get to utilize it for beta testing? I got to go back to the network that I built over here. All right. So the network doesn't leave. Unlike a business or unlike a job, you can walk away from it or you can get fired from it or it might not work out for you. But if you built a strong network, that network goes to you. It goes with you, so to speak. So your network is something that's going to always follow you. And then ultimately going into like the third lane, you want to make sure you keep those relationships by reaching out to people. Another thing that I see people do all the time is they'll meet someone interesting, right? Where they might want to keep them in their back pocket for future use. And what they do is, or what they don't do is, they don't keep an open line of communication. They don't keep an open line of communication. And, I don't like it when people call me that I haven't heard from in ages and they ask me for a favor. Hey, Mark, man, something came up, man, hey, I know you got a moving company, but my money is a little funny right now. And, I was wondering if you could help a brother out. I got something. I know, I know y'all charge a lot of money, but I know, man, you a brother, man. So can you help a brother out? And this person I haven't heard from in a long time. And now you want me to help you out. All right. And I hate when people do me like that. So I'm not going to do other people like that. So if I feel like, man, you know what, I met a very interesting person, and even though this person is talking about things that I'm not into, but I have an interest in them, and I may want to dive into this area later. But other than that, this person's just interesting to talk to. I like to surround myself with very interesting people that have ideas and things like that. And these are people that I keep in communication with. I check on them. I might send a text blast out. You know what I'm saying? It may not be something that a person even has to respond to, but I make sure that they see my name. All right. And not only do they see it often. All right. Because I never know. I might need this person. Um I'm not too big headed to the point where I feel like I don't need people. I'm doing something right now that I've never really done before on the level that I'm trying to do it on. I've built tech apps and things of that nature before and invested money into them, but not to the point now where I'm trying to build something that requires angel investing and VCs, venture capital. All right, I'm trying to do something that I need VC funding for. All right. So I have to talk to people that have done this before. All right. And and with this type of information, what I'm seeing is people don't like to divulge this type of information to you. It's just kind of like how this box truck thing is. The game is to be sold and not told. I got a homie that's been through this before, and I be trying to ask him stuff, but you know what I'm saying? He'll give me a little information, spoon feed me information, but then he'll invite me to like, well, man, I'm going on this trip, man. We're going on this guy's trip to wherever, Cancun for the weekend. Come out to Cancun, we'll talk about it out there. But then when you get out there, you gotta go because you need this information. So you book this flight, you go out to Cancun, and you party for the weekend in hopes that you're gonna have that maybe 2 hours sit down, maybe catch a person at lunch or at dinner, and then I can express my ideas, but then it never happens. So now you find yourself chasing these people around. This is the level that I'm on. I've been in this position before. All right, so I know. I don't know from the box truck and cargo van perspective, as far as how people feel. I got an idea because I've been in that position in other industries, and I'm kind of in that position now with this tech business that I'm trying to build chasing people around trying to get information. But people that have done it, they spoon feed you a little. No one wants to sit down and take the time and really say, all right, Mark, so here's how it is. Here's my network of VCs. Here's my network of angel investors. Here's a network of people that are willing to invest in a person who's never done this before, as long as the idea is good. So I feel you. That's why I spend a lot of time working with people, responding to DMs, doing coaching sessions, doing free mentorships, coming on live 2-3 times a week if need be, doing Q&A, staying on live 3-4 hours, making sure I answer everyone's question to the best of my ability, because I know what it's like to be a person that is looking for information but just can't seem to get it. And you know people that have this information, but they don't want to just divulge it to you. They rather sell it to you or spoon feed it to you. So I feel you guys on that. And I think building your network up and meeting people and keeping people in your back pocket, I think this is a great way to get ahead, guys. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I said, I'm gonna keep these lives very express now. So I'm gonna hit these quick talking points like I've been doing these past couple of lives, in and out. And I think that's gonna conclude my presentation for this one. So you want to build your trust, you want to stay connected, and you want to network outside of your business. Just because a person is not in trucking or not in cargo van or not in moving or not in gig doesn't mean that they don't have information that you may need or require later on. If a person is interested and they're heavy into real estate, you're in the trucking, but you know a person is heavy into real estate, you know they're successful in real estate, you know they have a vast wealth of knowledge in real estate, this is a person you want to network with. Because even though you're not into real estate now, if your box truck business or your cargo van business becomes successful, this is something that you may want to pivot into later, and take that money that you've been making in your trucking business and build you a network portfolio as well. All right, you want to build an asset portfolio. All right, maybe a person that heavily invested in the crypto or stocks. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're not in the stocks and crypto at the moment, but you know this person is heavily invested. They talk about their portfolio, the verbiage and the vernacular that they use when speaking on this topic it comes from an educated standpoint. You know this person knows what they're talking about. All right, this is a person that you want to network with. You may not have a particular interest in it right now, but this is something that you might want to add to your asset portfolio at a later time. And as you build your relationship, you build this rapport with this person over time. If this is something that you do want to dive into at a later time, it won't seem awkward and odd. And it may require you doing things on the spur of the moment. Like I've had to take trips with people. I may have to take a trip coming up because there's someone I need to talk to. And every time I say, "Oh, well, we going out the country," man. You should come out, meet us out here, and then we can talk about it there. These are things you got to do, man. When you get to a certain level of building a network. So I just wanted to wrap with you guys about your network is your net worth. Building a a prosperous, healthy network ultimately will increase your net worth, because people can help you continue to scale, continue to grow, and ultimately continue to make more money. So it's very important you build a healthy, strong network, all right, because that will increase your net worth over time, all right? Agreed. Oh, man. Agreed. Relationships, relationships. Right. Relationships are very important. That's true, Mark. People don't like sharing info for venture capitalists called self-supposed. It's called self-money, sadly. Yeah, people don't like um sharing info for VCs, angel investors, or just, if a person has knowledge on something that you may be interested into, they figure the game is to be sold, not told. I believe in that to a certain degree as well, but I feel like, you know what, the information that I have in trucking um and moving, it did cost me a lot of years to gain this information. And some people like, you know what, the knowledge that you've gained over the years, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices, it's worth something. And you're right, it is worth something. But ultimately, at the point that I'm at now, I'm not hard up for anything. Like, so I don't have to use the information that I've attained over the years, ultimately as a source to create a source of income, a stream of revenue. I don't have to utilize that for that. I have multiple streams of revenue that I make money from, so I can utilize my knowledge as some form of philanthropy. When you get to a certain level of success, um, it's cool to give back. All right, it's cool to give back, and there's a plethora of different ways you can give back. Some people go and feed the homeless. Some people donate money. When you really get to those big levels, you donate a lot of money because you got to get rid of it because you don't want to get taxed. Um, some people create mentorships. You see ball players do in the summertime, like basketball players, they'll do camps. A lot of these camps do cost some money, but they'll sponsor like some inner city youth to come out there as well. So they'll have the rich kids' parents pay for their for their kids to go, but then they might sponsor like 5 or 10 kids from the inner city to come out uh, for free. So it's cool to give back. I don't mind giving back, and like I said, I don't need this for a stream of revenue. But I agree with you. I'm in the same boat. When I'm like in the tech world, I'm like a small fish surrounded by a bunch of sharks and whales. All right, and I'm trying to swim and stay afloat and get information, but people don't want to give me the information. A lot of reasons people don't want to give you information is because you become a threat to them too. This is something my mother always told me. People know people that are smart. All right, I've built successful businesses in other industries, so a person that's knowledgeable in that industry that that you built a network with, the last thing they want to do is give you the information to possibly come in and put their company out of business, or come in, take the information that they gave you, come in and build a company that's more successful than theirs. People won't tell you these things, but these are the things that are going through your head. And ultimately, this is why people don't like sharing information. That is the real reason people don't like sharing information, because they don't want you to come in and be bigger and more successful than them. All right. So thanks for your help. Nice change from Sean in town, who is a complete fraud. Yeah, I see, it's what I'm saying, man. People, I don't know. I don't know about other people, what I'm saying, but the experiences that people have with these different people, I don't knock people's experiences. So apparently, you had a bad experience with that guy. I see his stuff all over the place though. He's heavily marketed on the YouTube. When I first created my TikTok last year, when I first started my YouTube in April, he was one of the first persons when I put like box truck in, and it was heavily marketed on TikTok. I don't know him personally. I don't know if he's really even done this work, but I'm sorry whatever happened to you, but hopefully, I can provide some type of value for you, Mr. Ben. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that like button. Come on, man. We supposed to be brothers. Yeah, man. I try to help the brothers out as much as I can, but I got people to pay. So, I've done plenty of pro bono work. And what people don't understand about pro bono work is the people that are actually doing the physical work, they still on the clock. That means not only did I do it pro bono, I didn't charge you, but it cost me money because I had to pay for the labor. The labor came out of my pocket. Not only did the labor came out of my pocket, the materials came out of my pocket. Shrink wrap costs money. I remember paying $40 a case back in the day for shrink wrap. It'd be $40 a case. Shrink wrap is about $80 a case now for 4 rolls of 80 gauge. Not that cheap stuff. That 43 gauge, 80 gauge. It's about $80 a case now. All right. So, people don't understand when they come and ask you for favors and stuff like that. They just think it's just, oh, well, you just know, man, it still costs money. All right. If I'm paying these guys 25 to $60 an hour and it's 2, 3 guys, do the math on that. All right. Do the math on the material. Tape is very expensive now. Shrink wrap is very expensive. You know what I'm saying? Moving blankets, even though these are things, the blankets you can use over a course of time, each time you use these blankets, they wear. All right. These blankets go through a lot of uh, different obstacles, they're they're covering the furniture for a reason so the furniture doesn't get damaged. So these blankets are scrubbing the concrete ground, wooden floors, and protecting the furniture so that furniture doesn't get damaged. But over time, it wears. The truck, every time those wheels turn, they wearing down. The oil is burning. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to help people out as much as I can, but people have to understand that it's a business and it still costs money. Um, I hate when people use that brother card. It's so annoying. You get used to it over time, Jeremiah. I know you still young, but after a while, you just get used to it and you just know how to deal with it. And sometimes you just be like, man, whatever, and you just do it. I was a lot more shrewd when I was younger. I'm still shrewd now, but I'm a lot more understanding, you know what I'm saying? So I may help out, let's say, a single mother. If I had two people come to me, let's say, um, in a desperation for a desperation move for whatever. You can create your own scenario. And you got one as a single mother with 2 or 3 kids or whatever. And then you got this guy whose girlfriend is putting him out of her crib. And both of these people are desperate. They don't have money. And they saying, hey, Mark, can you send a truck and some guys to move me? I'll pay you back later. 9 times out of 10, I'll help the woman out because of the kids versus the grown man. So now it's just to the point now where I'm I'm still shrewd. I'm less shrewd, but I'm still shrewd. But I look at situations for what they are, and that is the determining factor if I'm going to be uh, philanth- philanthropic in that whatever the specific situation is. You know what I'm saying? If it's a grown man with 2 hands and 2 feet, he can go rent a U-Haul truck, and move itself, But if it's a woman, let's say with 2 kids and it's a bad situation, then I may be a little bit more practice a little bit more philanthropy and that. So, but when you're in a position of um, influence, you are in a position where you have a stature. People gonna always come to you when they know you have something that they may need at the time, and they may want something done for free. You just got to know how to say no and stand on it. And then sometimes you may it's not all the time. You don't have to say no. If it's a situation where you can help somebody, go ahead and help them. But man, being from where I'm from, people that I know, it happens all the time. It happens more often than it should. People asking for something for nothing. So you get used to it after a while, Jeremiah. That's smart, Mark. I went to utilize semi truck and exit into fashion clothing. Fashion and clothing is something different. That's another topic we would have to have a long talk about. Fashion, clothing. Here's the good thing about selling clothing, because I actually worked for a clothing through college. I worked at the Gap. So I worked at the Gap for 5 years. Started in the stock room, worked my way up to stock manager um, throughout my 5 years. All right. And then I also worked for a small mom and pop clothing store as well, where I actually was a buyer for that particular company, where I bought the merchandise, magic show, things of that nature, dealt with the vendors at the magic show, did all the buying for the store and things of that nature. The good thing about the clothing industry, as far as building a business, is the markup. You know what I'm saying? You talking about 3, 4, 500% markup on clothing, right? So people are buying jeans for $300 that ultimately cost the store, all right, maybe $60 or $70 a piece, $50 a piece, all right. So the markup is there now. The bad thing about the clothing industry is why you see a lot of clothing companies, they're here today and gone tomorrow. It's a trend based business. When the trends change, if it's a business that's focusing on one trend, they're out of here. When the trends change, if you think about the 90s and the early 2000s, where urban fashion was the big thing, urban fashion isn't the big thing anymore. Your academics, your Fat Farm, your Baby Fat, your um, uh, just think of all the Sean John, all the urban fashion lines. I say Fat Farm, all the urban fashion brands that were popular in the 90s and the early mid 2000s don't exist anymore. High fashion is popular now. Not only is high fashion popular, the way these clothing lines would cut their clothes back then, a bigger, baggier uh, look. People don't wear their clothes like that no more. So it's a trend based business, and that's why you see a lot of like small, um, urban or small clothing lines. If they do catch fire for a little moment, it's very short lived, and the next thing you know, they're out of here. There's only a few companies that have been around, and those are the high fashion companies. Gucci, your Louis, and companies like that. They've been around for years and years and years selling the same print. All right, so that's something you have to, Jeremiah, you have to sit down and think about before you do it. I think, me personally, I think there's other um, industries that if you make a lot of money in your semi truck business, that you may see a greater return on investment. That's less riskier than the fashion industry. All right. So that's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? You do what you want, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the OG's advice. All right. Let me go back down here. Do you still drive transportation vehicles, just run the business from your office? I do get in the vehicles from time to time. I had to get back out there from time to time once the pandemic started due to lack of employment. But it's not something that I have a passion for, at this point in my life. I started the business in the trucks, scaled it up. Obviously, came out of the trucks once I scaled up. Pandemic hit, things shifted. Had to jump back in to keep things afloat. Ultimately, made a decision that there's other things that I want to do, and when the business was at scale, like I would just be sitting in an office all day, and doing other things. I don't have that time anymore. When you become an entrepreneur, at a certain level, your mind is always racing. You're always thinking of new ideas and to be creative. And some of these ideas may acquire your time. Once you've built something um, uh, that has seen years of success, and you fall out of love with it, so to speak, and you are interested in other things, you gotta make a decision. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, I made a decision that I want to move on, but not out of the industry. I want to do things more on a technical level, because I want, I know what it takes to run a business in today's times, where you have to depend on other people. It's not like what it used to be. I know you are new to the channel, and people that have been on the channel, they hear me talk about this all the time. A lot of people agree. We're in a different um culture now, as far as the way how people look at work and employment, and you have to understand when it's time to transition. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. You know, my business was very successful. I built it. I made a lot of money. I'm comfortable. So now I want to do what I want to do. If I can sell, then I will sell. If not, I will continue to sell off my assets, and treat it as as a sale of the business, and in turn invest that money into things that I'm more interested in doing on the tech level. You know, there's a lot more money out there that requires less uh, resources as far as depending on other people that I can just outsource and ultimately build something and then ultimately sell. I think what I've learned over the past few years, and it's something that I knew already, but it's something that I struggle with as a business person, and that people that I know that are business people that I look up to, they always tell me, "Hey, Mark, you got an emotional attachment to things." And that's true. You know, smart business people, they build things, they scale them, and then they sell them. All right, they don't hold on to anything. So now I'm looking to build things, scale them, and sell them, take that money and invest it into other things. um, Ultimately, if I can build stuff and sell it pre-launch, you know, that would be really dope. And I think that would be um, that actually is a goal of mine. I have an idea on something that I believe I can start the initial phase of building this particular thing, and I think I can sell it before I even launch it. I think the idea is so good that another company, once they catch wind of it, I can sell it prior to even launching it, just during the building phase, sell the idea. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm heavy on automation. Um, I'm looking into the future, and I just see the way things are going, and I just don't want to be like one of those old guys with white and silver hair that are sitting on these boards and just, you know, been making money for years and years, and just thinking that things are going to stay the same forever. It's like I say, technology is moving very fast now. I was actually reading an article earlier that said the same thing. Technology is moving fast, so you can't get comfortable anymore. You know, the days of being comfortable are over with. You constantly gotta, your mind has to be thinking ahead, because you can have something today that's that's good, and some technology can come in and just change it, and then it's no longer good anymore. So I'm looking to build things that are um require less human um, um, interaction um, going forward, and that's where I ultimately have been focusing most of my time on, man. Sean in Town banned me from his Facebook group because I didn't have enough personal pics in my Facebook profile. Thanks for saying that, man, and for helping people in general. I appreciate it. No problem. Yeah, see, I don't do Facebook groups and things. I hear a lot of bad things about Facebook groups. I don't know. I don't go over there. I don't, yeah, know, but I don't know why he banned you. He said because you didn't have a picture, but yeah, I'm sorry that happened. You know, I don't know the guy, but you know, it's just another, I guess, just another person that people don't like on the internet. I don't know. I don't mix with these guys on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I network with who I network with, and you know, the internet is a tricky place. Um, you gotta really, you know, you gotta you gotta be careful who you consume content from. You know, you got to really like analyze the person to know, okay, is this person, does he really know what they're talking about, have they really done it? And I think the best way to do that is to just really listen to the person, and if you're a smart person, you got common sense, you can tell. And if a person seems fool, you know what I'm saying, then you know that might not be a person you want to consume content from. You know, there's some good people on the internet, and then there's some people that are opportunists. Um, like I always say, I just think that's just the way things are. You know what I'm saying? It's like that, and just off the internet. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to move and shake. You know, some sharks out here. You know, if they find a Vic, they're gonna try to Vic you. You know what I'm saying? And I always use the examples of, you know, upbringing and your geographical location where you where you live and how you were raised and things of that nature. There's some people, the internet is a place where a person can touch everybody in the world. All right, so guess what? They may be running a scam, but that scam may not fare over with someone from a big city. Like I always use New York, Chicago, LA, but they might catch that one little sweet person from middle America that just don't know no better. That's just never been scammed, who lives in a town with a population of 1,000 people, and it's just everything has always been on the up and up. These scams are just not things that they've ever heard, so they don't know when they getting played. And the internet is filled with those types of people, and you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Urban Abode, what up, Mark? I'm just pulling up to the live. What's going on, Mark? Why is it so easy to scam black people with courses in the black community? Listen, man, look, man, the thing is, I think with black folks, man, we don't want to do the work, man. We can, if we see a shortcut and we got the money to buy the shortcut, we buy the shortcut, and then ultimately the shortcut ends up biting you in the behind one way or another, man. There is no shortcut to success. All right, courses and things like that. I'm pretty sure courses existed back when I got started, but the internet wasn't to the point where it is now, where you just got marketing, overnight marketing gurus and things of that nature selling you a course. There's a course you can buy. You can buy a course on how to be a marketing guru. So if you want to be a marketing guru, you can buy a course for that. Like, there's courses for everything now. There's courses on how to scam people, So I think with us, we want the easy road. So we'll take that $1,000, which to me is silly, and buy it thinking that. And here's the thing: we'll buy that, but we don't even read books. That's what I don't, it behooves me. You know what I'm saying? I think ultimately it's because of the shortcut. You're thinking that, okay, this book is the golden ticket and it's gonna give us the cheat code to making money instantly and instant success, and that's not the case. There is no instant success in business. There's no such thing as a shortcut in business. You got to go through the bumps and the bruises and the trial and the error. And I think that's why, what I'm saying, don't nobody want to work hard and put the time in. When you tell a person, like, look, okay, this is the timetable, from where you're going to start to you're going to make this much money, and then 3 more years you're going to make this much money, and then 5 years you're going to get to here. And then people don't want to go through so they want that shortcut to go from here to here, and it don't work like that. And clearly people don't know what the hell they doing, because you getting game ran on you, and you don't even know you getting game ran on you. That's prime example right there. So I think with us, we just want that shortcut, man. I'm 42, man. I'll be 43 next month. I'll be 43 next month. I'm shrewd as hell in business. Yeah, me too. What would you tell your 21 self in business? If I was 21 again, everything that I did at 29, 30, I would do at 21. Um, at 21, I was busy being a 21-year. I was still in college. I was running around. I had 2 jobs at 21. I've always been a hard worker, so I had 2 jobs at 21, and I was a full-time student. So I worked full-time at the Gap. So I went to class in the morning from like 8 to noon. I would take 2 classes, and then I would work the stock room from 2 to 11. All right. I get off at 11, so I'm working 8 hours. So I'm full time student, working full time at the Gap, and then once I got off at the Gap, I worked back then in the late '90s, early 2000s. I was a college rep, marketing rep. This is when they had the budgets for this stuff back then for Def Jam. So I was the rep for Def Jam for the Chicago area. All right, so I was the college rep and I was the street team rep. This is back when record companies had a budget for street promotions, college promotions, radio promotions on the street level. All right. So after I got off work at 11, I would hit the street. I would hit the clubs. I had to go service the DJs. So Def Jam would send me like I get shipment on Tuesday. I come home. My mom would be like, "Man, it's a front porch full of boxes." So they'll send me like 20 boxes of poster boards to put the poster boards on the street poles. I staple the poster boards on one side, wrap it around the street pole, staple it, push it up, push another, and wrap the whole street pole. I would do that. I would have to go service the DJs at the nightclub. So I would give them records. So they'd send me all the records pre-release. So I remember working the backstage tour, that mixtape. I mean that soundtrack. Ja Rule was a big project I worked. So I would have to go. They'd send me the albums. CDs were in then, but people still had tape decks, so they'll send like promo singles, promo CDs, still vinyl records. DJs were spinning vinyl back then. I have to go to the club, service the DJs vinyl. I have marketing stuff to pass out to people that were exiting the club, things of that nature. So every night I had to be in the club. So I'd be coming home at like 3, 4 in the morning. I get 2, 3 hours of sleep. I got to be back up at 6:37 because I got to be in class at 8. So if I had to be 21 all over again, honestly, I don't think I would change anything because I think the hard work that I put in then made me the person who I am today. What I would think about though is once I graduated college, instead of wasting my time looking for a job, I would have went straight into entrepreneurship. I think I had um, enough skill set at 23 to start a business. Ultimately, it would have been a lot of bumps and bruises because I was only 23, so I wasn't wise as I am today. I would have made a lot of mistakes, but I would have got that start early. So by the time that I actually did start at 29, 30, I would already had 6, 7 years of entrepreneurial experience, and I would have been 6, 7 years ahead than where I was when I actually did start at 29, 30. So I think me at 23, I think I wasted a lot of time um, on Career Builder. I don't even know if Career Builder is still around. On Career Builder and Yahoo Jobs and Lycos Jobs. Some of these uh, things that don't even exist no more. AOL Jobs and um, working these penny ante jobs that would give me an opportunity until ultimately I found my calling. I would just go straight into entrepreneurship. Whatever I went into, ultimately I probably would have failed because I'd have been young and immature and just lacking resources. But just starting the process and building and falling and bumping my head and getting back up and trying again and falling and getting back up and trying again at a younger age. Ultimately, I would have had, when I did start 29, 30, I had 6, 7 years. And I had the support to do it. Obviously, I was still living at home. So a lot of the, responsibilities a person who starts their entrepreneurial journey later in life after they've already started a family and they have more responsibilities, it can be kind of hard. So I think you're at the right age to start your entrepreneurial journey while you don't have kids, you don't have mortgages, you don't have all these things that you will acquire later on in life. If you decide to be an entrepreneur, then you have less responsibility. So you're able to take bigger and bolder risk. And if you fail, ultimately, it's easier for you to get back up and start all over again. So I would have just started my entrepreneurial journey a little bit earlier. But that's a good question, though, Jeremiah. It's a good question. Uh, Mark, when is Pippi coming on the show? Whenever she want. It's my Hey Pippi, did you get rid of this guy? Get rid of this guy, please. Or did you bounce him already? Did you bounce this guy already? Or should I do it? What up, bro? What are your thoughts on the current freight market? It's getting drier and drier. Well, this is a question I get asked all the time. 2023. I haven't. I think I said it the other day because someone asked me. I get asked this question every live. It's just going to be. We're going through a reset, a correction. 2023 is going to be rough. The analysts are saying it now themselves. They were optimistic. Now they're pessimistic. Um, it's going to be rough. You know what I'm saying? In order for things to get better, they got to get worse. We still waiting on that bottom. In order for things to turn around, it has to hit the bottom. You know, look at it like the stock market or look at it like the crypto market. There's cycles. All right. When let's say the crypto market, every 4 years it goes through a cycle, right? And then it goes up. You have a bear run, all right, a bull run, and then it goes into a bear market, right? And then ultimately it drops about 80%, right? You hit the bottom, and then it gradually starts to increase back into a bull run. It hits all-time highs, and then you go right back into the bear run. It does an 80% drop. You hit the bottom, and then that cycle repeats, right? Same thing here, you know what I'm saying? In order for things to go back up, ultimately the industry has to hit the bottom. We're still waiting on that bottom. I said it in December. It probably happened sometime in January or February. January is pretty much out. Still haven't seen the bottom yet. Hopefully it'll happen in February, but I don't know. But we haven't seen, one thing is for sure, we haven't seen that bottom yet. Once we see the bottom, um, it's probably going to sit there for a little while, you know what I'm saying? And then over time, you'll start to see it going up. I honestly think 2023 is going to be a wash. Um, um, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too high because the industry has to correct itself, and it's just not something that's going to happen ultimately overnight. These things take time, months, years possibly. You know what I'm saying? It might not be to 2024 or 2025 before you see a fair market, but I think it is safe to say that, um, and this is not on the record. All right, this is not on the record because I don't do yearly forecasts. I do them by the quarter. So I'm telling you, 2023 is going to be a wash. All right, you may see some signs of hope, but ultimately a correction takes time. You know what I'm saying? The economy, the government is still fighting inflation. Um, Banks, with these basis points, the points are still high. Um, People aren't really buying homes right now. There's a lot of things that go into factor. Also, we're coming up on a presidential election, so people are kind of holding off on that. People aren't really spending money. I did a live a few weeks ago where I talked about consumer buying behavior has shifted from goods to services. People are spending more money on services than they are on goods. A person would rather uh, spend $12 on an Uber or $12 on purchasing purchasing their groceries, let's say on an app like Instacart, pay $9.99, right, for the service just to order a $5 pint of ice cream. Instead of getting up, going down the street to the store, buying a $5 pint of ice cream themselves, they rather spend $9.99 on Walmart Spark or on Instacart or on Kroger or whatever the the service based platform is, depending on where you are in the country. Spend $9.99 if they don't have the subscription, right? So they're spending $9.99 in occurrence to purchase one item in the middle of the night because they got a craving for ice cream that costs $5. So they spent more on the service than they did on the actual good. So people are spending more money on services right now than they are on actual goods. And as long as people are spending more on services than goods, then freight is going to continue to be where it is because there's not a demand for it. On top of that, the a lot of these companies, retail companies, believe it or not, still even after Christmas, are overstocked with freight. So not only is there less demand, there's less reason for retailers to purchase more goods. 2023 is going to be a wash, man. I'm 90% sure. I'm 90% sure. So I think 2023 is a year you just want to focus on maintaining. I wouldn't think about growing or scaling or anything of that nature. I think my whole focus for 2023, if I was in a position where I was um, entering into the industry and still very young in the industry, I would focus on maintaining for the rest of the year. That's true, man. Sean and telling his face, but mine just have mental problems. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't got a Facebook group, man. I don't know about these characters online, man. You know, I stay in my lane, man, and mind my business, man, and stay out the way. True, you got to take the stairs to success, not the elevator fast. Yeah, so I think the best way to see success is the hard road. I think if you take the hard road, you see better results, and then once you start seeing these results, you appreciate the fruits of your labor. I think people that do take the shortcut, or let's say they see instant success, some type of instant gratification. There's one trend I always see: they always misappropriate the money. All right, because what happens is when you come into an industry, let's say like people that enter into this space in 2021, latter part of 2020, 2021, earlier part of 2022, um, they saw instant gratification. All right, so the instant gratification paralleled with what these influencers were selling to them online gave them an illusion, like I talked about last week, or a false perception, some false sense of hope that this was just the industry. So, man, so and so online said this, and now I'm in this business and I'm seeing those same results. So, man, I'm making this much money. That means I'm going to continue to make this much money. So, people went out and they did a lot of frivolous things instead of putting that money to the side. And while they were putting it to the side, continue into or start to do research, which they didn't do in the first place, into the industry. And then they would have realized that this wasn't what it really was. It was an illusion, and they were in a euphoric phase of thinking that this was going to always be what it was, and it wasn't. And ultimately, they succumbed to their I don't want to say stupidity. I want to say because it wasn't stupidity, ignorance. They succumb to their ignorance, just not knowing. Um, um, I believe person that comes in and struggles, right? Um, and they have that hard, tough road where a lot of sacrifice is made, and those long days and those short nights, and you get home and you take that shower, you falling asleep in the shower, and as soon as your head hit that pillow, that alarm ring, and you like, man, my head just hit the pillow. I know this ain't been 3 hours, and it's 3 hours, and it's time to get back up and do it again. And just uh, the constant research, the constant trying to find resources of help and information, and people not wanting to help and give you information, wanting to grow, wanting to scale, banks not wanting to touch you because you haven't been in business 2 years, and just the learning curve that people go through. And then once you break through that and you start, seeing some sunlight and you can smell the fresh air, it's just a different feeling than that short road to success and that instant gratification that you are tricked into if you come in and see some type of instant success. It's just a different ball game. And ultimately, the person who does struggle, they appreciate it when they do make it, and they appropriate their money a lot better than the person that doesn't. Thanks again for everything you do. Appreciate you for coming on the live and checking it out, Mr. Ben Bamboo. Mark, is Detroit a big market? Detroit is a big city. It's a big market depending on depending on certain resources. If you're talking about the automobile industry, then yes, it's a big market. If you're talking about corn, then no, it's not a big market. So it all depends on what resource um, we're talking about when you ask me. It's a big market. Is it considered a big city? Yeah, it's one of America's big cities. It doesn't have the population that it used to have because the industry that kept that city afloat is not what it used to be um, back in the day. Even though Detroit is still big for auto, Ford is still out there, GM is still out there, and I believe Dodge Chrysler is still out there as well. A lot of these companies have also outsourced to other states where taxes are cheaper, and they've also outsourced to Mexico as well for that same reason, for cheaper labor and cheaper taxes. That's why Detroit went through the transition that it went through. It was a thriving um, city in the 50s and the 40s and before, in the 50s and the 60s and before that. Once those companies started to move into other states with cheaper taxes and Mexico, it also took a lot of jobs out of that city as well, ultimately creating what the transition that we all saw Detroit go through. But it still is a big city for automotive. They have some other resources. It is in the Midwest. Um, so yeah, it's a big market depending on the resource we're talking about. Interstate Screw, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, Pippi, did you get rid of this guy? Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he out of there. Now he talking about he from Chicago. I'm from there too. He want to switch it up. It's too late, bro. That Chicago connection out the window. You came in with this gaming. Listen, I don't play video games, man. My name is Mark Pippi. I don't know where this guy's coming from. These gaming dudes. This is not a gaming channel. I don't know what this Mbakum is, but delete anybody that says this. He gone now. I'm seeing all the stuff. He banned. I can see everything now. Wait, he said, wait, where you from? Chicago? I'm from Chicago too. It's out. It's over with. You out of there. The Chicago connection is gone. You gone, buddy. We want the cheat code for everything. I have my theory on that mentality. That's a good statement, bro. I saw it on my end. Hold on. I saw it on my end. I got him up out of here though. Some dude named A Gaming. I banned him though. Yeah, I banned him. Mark, what's one of the biggest lessons you learned in life, business as an older guy? Man, you got good questions, truthful Jeremiah. Um, what's one of the biggest lessons you learned in life, in business as an older person? Well, I spoke on one earlier. Building, scaling, and selling. Um, I'll never build anything else and hold on to it for a long period of time. Once I build it, and scale it, I'm looking to ultimately sell it. Um, um, you don't want to hold on to anything no more. If you can build, if you're good enough to build and scale, I know I have a gift. I've built businesses, all right, successful businesses, all right. So I know I can continue to build businesses, but I want to do them in different industries, all right. So I'm gonna building, scaling, and selling is something that a lesson that I've learned. I see a lot of like like business people, like big business people. This is the model that they use. what other lessons that I learned from being in business and as an older person? Uh, so building, selling, scaling, not holding on to anything because technology is moving very fast. Um, I've learned that uh, uh, as time continues to go on, uh, people's mindsets shift as far as how they look at work. So I've also learned that people aren't reliable. All right, you can't put your trust in people. Um, 10 years ago, and I had this thought, and I actually said it. I forgot who I said this to. I said, man, as long as I got trucks, it's gonna always be people to drive them, and that's what I thought. If you would have told me there would be an event years later where it would shift people's mindsets on how they look at work, I wouldn't believe you. I would not have believed you. So the pandemic shifted people's way they look at work. Everybody either doesn't want to work or they don't want to go into work. They want to work from home. I live in a big city. Um, Prior to the pandemic, today was what, Thursday. You're gonna have rush hour. This morning we had snow, wasn't no traffic. Why? Because people that have been forced to go back to work now have the option to work from home, when they want to. They don't have to go into work anymore. They can, oh, I'm just gonna work from home. And it's just okay now, you know what I'm saying? So guess what? It's snow outside. I'm not going in. I'm not fighting traffic. I'm not taking an Uber. I'm not getting on a train. I'm not getting on a bus. I'm just gonna stay at home and open my laptop and work from home. So people have a different way they look at employment. So I've learned that, and I always knew that. Like when I talked about like the ICs earlier for networking, I've said this before. Like even 10 years ago, a big part of me building my business was off the fact that I saw that independent contractors just weren't reliable. So I always let the uh the logistics companies know if you need extra truck, I got extra trucks, you know what I'm saying? And I took advantage of that. So people just aren't reliable. So I've learned going forward that I'm gonna invest and build things that don't require people or require very uh few people. What else have I learned? Uh, Being older, multiple streams of revenue. You never want to stop learning. You always want to create multiple streams. You always want to continue to learn. Like I don't waste a lot of my time. The older I get, I don't waste time. Like I don't watch TV. I got TVs mounted all over my condo, my bedroom, living room, and here in my den. TVs just mounted. They're just really mounted for decoration. They're just hanging on the wall for decoration. I don't watch them. I don't turn. I haven't sat in my living room probably 6 or 7 months. I spend all my free time when I'm driving in the car. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to Apple Music no more. I listen to podcasts. I listen to things, and I any opportunity I get, because my time is very limited. So anytime where I'm doing something, like let's say driving, I have to multitask while I'm driving. So while I'm driving and paying attention to the road, I'm also listening to something that's educational. All right, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting to where I need to get to, but I'm also feeding my mind. So I've learned that I constantly got to continue to stay abreast on the latest technology so that I can stay ahead of the curve. I have to stay knowledgeable of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And that requires uh time. You being on top of things and finding the time to stay abreast on all these uh current news and up to date technology and breakthrough innovations and stuff. So just staying abreast and staying ahead. What else? Uh uh and minding my business. A lot of people in business, they don't mind their business. I focus on me. All right, I focus on me, me and me. Okay. Just looking in the mirror every morning and realizing that I'm my own competition. I'm not in competition with nobody. I just want to compete with myself and make myself a better person than I was the day before, and just encourage myself to keep going hard. Something that I didn't do prior, just some type of everyday self reflection and giving myself some type of mental motivation every morning to push and keep going, and challenge myself to do more and come up with more ideas to create more streams of revenue. Yeah, Jeremiah does ask great questions. Axel said more Viagra. Hey, Axel, see, unlike you, and that's another thing. I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym at least 5 to 6 days a week, and I spend 2 hours in the gym. So I'm even though I'm 42, 43, Axel, I don't need that. I don't need that. Now you, I don't know, but me, I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym. I'm bench pressing. Um, I'm bench pressing pretty heavy. So I don't know. I don't need that. You on the other end, I don't know, but not for me, buddy. February 2024, we're gonna be good. Axel is agreeing with me on that. Maybe another year. I think 2023 is gonna be a wash. Axel been trying to find your email, not seeing it. Mark, if a millionaire tell you at 21 it will take working 80 hours a week for 10 years to have 10 million net worth, would you do it? Yep. If you would told me that 10 years ago, yeah. I think there's easier ways now that and technology now that you don't have to spend so much time doing that. So yes, if you had told me 10 years ago, 11, 12, 13 years ago, yeah. Technology wasn't advanced to the point where it is now. But now I would put in um, the time, the work, but I would also utilize technology to, give me the time. See, here's this thing: when you're working, basically, when you're working, building a business, working for yourself, or working for a company, you're just trading. You're trading time for money. That's all what working is, trading time for money. All right, trading time for money. All right, so if there's technology that I could use to award myself more time but still make that same amount of money or more, then ultimately I'm going to outsource whatever I need to outsource so that I can have more of my time. Ultimately, I think that's also something that uh, the pandemic showed people, that time is valuable, and that's why people are in the mindset that they are now. Working 80 hours a week is a lot of hours. It's a lot of hours, and doing that consistently for 10 years is a long time to work 80 hours consistently every week for 10 million. So I think 10 years ago, then yes, because the mindset, back then was a lot different. The technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. Now, I would, I would, I would start maybe implementing that process, but ultimately, as I'm working these 80 hours, and I see the technology, I would try to trade off some of those hours of service for work, um, and find innovation that would allow me to utilize the innovation and outsource to buy some of that time back, but ultimately make the same amount of money or more. And then, 10 years ago, let's say I hadn't read the 4 Hour Work Week and things of that nature. So I wasn't even privy to, outsourcing and buying back my time by outsourcing and having other people do things for me at a small cost, but ultimately still make money. So at this point, at my age, um, working labor 80 hours. No, I wouldn't do it for 10 million. I'm smart now. I know I could I know I could find resources where I could, you know, buy buy I could outsource whatever it is we're talking about doing, whatever industry it is. I would find a way to outsource some of that labor so that I can have my time to do some of the things that I like to do, like workout, right? Because if you're working 80 hours a week, there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with your workout, right? So I understand working out is very important. So um, I would outsource some of that work so that I can buy myself back some of the time that I need to do the things that I want to do and ultimately still make, the same amount of money or more. What's up, Mark? I started my courier business with pickup truck. I'm from Vegas. It's good to start small in this business and network with other people and start growing little by little. Yeah, Chris, you haven't seen you in a while. Um, how's the gig stuff going for you? Mark, I'm 20 years old. People call me weird when I say I don't listen to music in my car. I like to listen to podcasts, think and reflect about life things. Yeah, you're not weird. I just think the people that are telling you that are misinformed. If you're 20 years old and you're thinking like that now, then by the time you get my age, you be way farther than I am at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I think your head is on. You got your head on straight, and I wouldn't really even pay attention to these guys that are telling you that. If you're spending and utilizing your time wisely, then you know there's nothing wrong with that. There's a meme that I seen a few years ago where it had you know um, the guy, right, when he was in school. It was a cartoon meme where he was kind of nerdy and in school, and the girl was pretty, and she didn't give him the time of day. And then years later, he's the successful guy. He's not, he got the suit on. He's in the gym. He's kind of lean and he's successful, and now she's looking all washed with the kids, got the kid on her hip, got the bonnet on and stuff like that. And I think that's just one of these situations, like right where you going through now. I think most people when they're young, they're not focused on the things that you're focused on, and it's not to take anything away from them. They're just finding themselves. You're just mentally more advanced than maybe the people that you are hanging around, and then ultimately, that's a decision that you're gonna have to make as well, because the people that you're hanging around, they're calling you weird and stuff. Eventually and ultimately, they're gonna hinder you from reaching the ultimate goal that you're looking to reach. So that's a tough decision that we all go through in business, is separating yourself from people that you may have grown up with, that may have been your friends through grade school and high school, and you're going through that transition where everybody's figuring out who they are and what path they're going to go in life. I went through it. My buddies that I was in high school with, once we got out of high school, I went to school. I continued my education. They didn't. So then not only did I continue my education, I went and got a full-time job. The moment I graduated from high school, I went straight downtown Chicago and started filling out applications. All right, because it was things that I wanted that I knew my mother couldn't give me. She couldn't give me a car. My mother is a school teacher. You know what I'm saying? She can't, you know, on that type of salary at that time, buy me a car. I wanted a car. I wanted to buy clothes when I wanted to buy them. She kept me laced. I had all the Jordans and stuff, but I wanted to buy stuff. I didn't want to have to ask her. So I went to school and got a job. They didn't do either. So I didn't really have time. So I'm in school all day and then I'm working from 2 to 11 and then I'm doing promotions at night. So I didn't have time. So we grew apart. You know what I'm saying? Because while they were playing Sega Genesis and NBA Live 98 and NBA Live 97 and Mad 98, I'm busy. I'm occupied, So ultimately we grew apart, and you're going to go through that transition. You may be going through it now. But when you lose friends that choose a different path in life, you're gonna meet new people. All right, so you just want to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, like you. That when you guys talk, you're bouncing ideas off of each other, and you guys have the same mindset as far as business. Like you have a real uh, sharp business acumen for you to be 20 years old. Just I can tell just off the questions that you're asking me, you're taking advantage of a situation where you're talking to someone who's 22 years, 23 years older than you, and you're asking these questions, and I'm giving you the answer. You're utilizing your time wisely while they may be doing something else. So you're just on two different playing fields. So you want to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, and when you do that, you're gonna also see yourself grow as well, man. Growing apart, that just happens right around the age you're at, right around like right after high school. You're gonna see yourself growing away from people that you probably grew up with. It just happens, and the funny thing is like the group of guys that I ran with in high school. Believe it or not, they're still friends. They're tight, but we don't communicate. I see them; they pop up on Facebook. We're not even Facebook friends, but they get suggested to me, and I can see that they're all friends. They hang out, be at each other's houses, and parties and barbecues and stuff like that. But I had a different path in life, so it sounds like you have a different path, and the path that you're on is great. So I wouldn't fret it, and I wouldn't take those words to heart, man. It's just what you need to do is keep doing what you're doing, and then in 10 years, look where you're at with your mindset that you're at right now in 20, and then in 10 years, look to see where they're gonna be at, and I guarantee you, it's gonna be a big difference. 225 max. I could bench more than 225, but man, when I put up 225, it'd be a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So um I went back down. I do like 185 now. I max out at 185. I could hit 225, but man, I'm 42, and it's just a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So I don't. But I could bench 225. I maxed out at 250. I benched 450. You didn't ask. Yeah, I didn't. Well, he didn't ask. Ain't no way in hell I'm benching 450. What's ironic is that technology was more advanced prior to the 1800 than it is today, but on a whole other level. How much time are you willing to trade for money in your current life? If I can, if I can ultimately get to a point where I can work an hour a day from my cell phone or a laptop, then ultimately I want to have as much time to myself as possible. You know what I'm saying? An hour a day. I always want to do something. So I don't want to say, man, I just want everything to be ran on automation. I don't have to pick up a cell phone, respond to an email, or get on a laptop or anything. At no point in the day, I want to be able to do something. But if I can reach a goal where ultimately maybe an hour a day, maybe two, then I think that'll be good enough. So I got to get a workout in every day before I leave the house, or else I'll be in a bad mood. Yeah, I got to get a workout in 5 to 6 days a week. Just to stay healthy, man. The older you get, man, those muscles they get tight. And you got to keep them loose and stretched. And man, this food that's out there, man. You just gotta stay in shape. So I like to work out because it do make me feel good, and I like to stay in shape. I've been working out for like 4 years now, and the way I used to feel before I started working out, like that's just not a good feeling. So I feel good when I work out. So that's what motivates me to work out, because it makes me feel good. I had to cut a lot of people. I had to cut a lot of people off that's not on my frequency. Yeah, you go through that in life. You go through that, and then the older you get, Jeremiah, you're gonna realize you're gonna have less and less friends. So I got a small circle like of friends. Like I can count how many friends I got on one hand and still have fingers left over. Now I got associates, got a plethora, a lot of associates, but I only really consider myself having a few friends. Like if somebody call me and say, "Yo, um, I'm stranded," whatever, man, I ain't getting out of bed. I'm getting out of bed for a few people. That's it. Everybody else, you call me in the middle of the night. I know if you call me in the middle of the night, it can't be nothing good. So I ain't gonna answer. I'm gonna wait to see what that text message say. And if it ain't like a life or death situation, then man, I ain't getting up out my bed. You know what I'm saying? But it's some people, a few people, that's on these fingers with still some fingers left over. That if they call me in a dire situation, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what I'm doing, if they call me, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Now you can use your imagination, you know what I'm saying? It could become to change a tire, a jump start, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so everybody else is associates. Um, the older you get, you're gonna realize you don't really have friends like that. There's only gonna be a few people that are gonna be willing to do for you what you'll do for them. And that's just real talk. Mark, this 29-year-old guy said I need to stop focusing on business, life improvement, and start focusing on girls and partying. Some people never learn. Man, you capping now. I don't believe nobody told you that. If somebody told you that, for real, then you need to stay far away from that person. For real. For real. Partying is cool. I say get it out your system, but you can still make money. Like partying in the 20s wasn't like partying in the 30s, right? When I was partying in the 20s, I was partying in the 20s broke. I was in my 20s partying, going to clubs broke, looking at the dope boys pop the bottles and get all the pretty girls and pull up and valet. Now, when I was in my 30s and when I was partying, it was a different ball game. I was the one pulling up the valet, saying leave it out front. Well, it's 150, man. Leave it at the door. Here go 150. I want mine right in the front. All right. I was the one standing on couches. All right, popping bottles and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, me partying in the 20s was different from partying when I was in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? So, if a person is telling you to focus on party, you ain't got nothing. You in your 20s. If you can build your business now and start making money, you know what I'm saying, then you can party harder. The more money you make, the harder you can party. So no, that's a backwards way of thinking. Because if you want to party, you want to party. All right. And you think partying here is one thing. Wait till you start partying out the country. See, it's a different ball game. I done partied all over the world. You know what I'm saying? It's different. That's partying. All right. So whoever's telling you that, they got their mind mixed up. Girls gonna come when you get the bread. You know what I'm saying? The more money you get, the more access to girls you're gonna get. And guess what? You're gonna meet them at the parties. But guess what? If you got the section and you got the whip outside, see, this is a whole nother live, man. It's a whole nother live, dog. It's a whole nother live. I like to learn from older successful people. Even grow apart from people as an adult is growth. Yeah, you grow apart from people as an adult. Like it's people that I've had to separate myself from in the last few years. I'm gonna give you another. I'm gonna give you another valuable tip. You want to get rid of somebody? If it's somebody in your life and you want to get rid of them, loan them some money. Loan them some money. You get rid of them. Listen, people that I want to X out of my life, I can't wait till they ask me for some money. As long as it's something that I'm willing to accept that they don't pay me back, I look at it as like I'm buying them to get them away from me. You see what I'm saying? I love to loan people money that I want out of my life because, and I pray they don't pay me back because I could X them off because they ain't gonna call me no more. I ain't got to deal with them. You want to get rid of people at an older age? Loan them some money. Loan them some money. I'm telling you, loan them some money. Hey Mark, man, my lights got cut off. Man, can I borrow 150? Yeah, sure. What's your Zelle? Send me a request. Send me a request. Send the 150. I'm gonna ask them for it back one time, but I really don't want it back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it back. They don't give it back, man. I don't have to never hear from it. And guess what? I done wrote off a few people that way, and that's something that somebody taught me. That's not something that I came up with. Somebody taught me that. They say you want to get rid of somebody, loan them some money. Loan them some money. Loan them some money. Uh, what do you like to eat regularly? So regularly, I eat maybe like fish, baked or grilled, salmon, baked chicken. Um, I eat real light. I don't eat really heavy like that no more. So I eat like either a fish, baked or grilled or seared, baked chicken, grilled or seared, and a vegetable like asparagus, maybe some sautéed spinach. Um, that's about it. In the morning I usually eat some turkey bacon, um, and I'll eat 2 or 3 eggs. That's it. Um, then I come home later and cook dinner. Or if it's a day where I don't cook dinner, I'll eat like a healthy. We got this healthy restaurant here called Doc B's, so I'll order that like grilled salmon over like brown rice with vegetables, something like that. I teach my little girl that she is only going to get 1 or 2 real friends in this. Yeah, so all you really gonna get. Best parties are in the military. I never been in the military. Good, Mark. I got a contract with this company in Vegas, and I still work my 9 to 5 dude because it works for me. I made a TikTok account and teaching people how to become a small cure. That's what's up, man. Congratulations. The girls will be there. Mark, it's hard for me to find friends that's in my races that think like me. I start to find friends outside my race that think about improvement. Well, where are you from, Jeremiah? What city you from? If the military clubs were banging, I got 50,000 following. I'm surprised how much people are interested in getting into this business. Follow me. I'm gonna follow you. I don't really be on my TikTok like that, but I'm gonna follow you. Chris Delivery. Drop and go. I'm gonna follow you. Uh, I can vouch for the money trick. An OG told me that. Mark, you gave 150 for life before then. You really a good friend. Man, I gave more than that. You know what I'm saying? If a person, I don't like loaning money and I don't really do it, but if it's like a situation like that, then I'll do it. But if it's like with this person, this is a person that was just, man, who the associate relationship, was just coming to an end, and it was person was more of like a thorn in my behind than valuable to me at that point. This person once had some type of value as an associate, but they no longer had that type of value. And they just was really more of a thorn. So man, when I had the chance for them to, I don't like answering the phone for a person who like, man, I just know it's just gonna like blow me, man. So like this was the opportunity for me to skate. So man, when needed that bread, I loaned it to him because I knew he wasn't gonna pay back. I was hoping he didn't pay back. He actually did call one day to give me some of it back. It was 150. He tried to give me $50. I'm like, bro, I don't want no 50. When you got the whole 150, then come. Don't jibble me. Cause I didn't give it to you in gibbles. I gave it to you to 150. So give me 150 back. Don't nickel and down 50, 50 me, 25 me, 50 me, 25. No, don't do me like that. Give it to me the way I gave it to you. So that's why I hit him with, you know what I'm saying? Now, if it would have been like, say, somebody else that I wasn't looking to get rid of, or let's say an amount of money where I wasn't willing to lose, then yeah, but that was my way of saying, no, give it to me the way I gave it to you. So he did try to give me some of it back. And then when I turned that down, then shit, I never heard from him no more. He sent me like little text messages and stuff, like little inspirational stuff to try to keep them lines of communication though, like I talked about earlier, like keeping lines, just a lot of little inspirational quotes and things. And he tried to do like direct contact type text messages and stuff like that. Too, I just don't respond. I haven't responded to a text message from this dude in about 4 years. You see what I'm saying? So once you burn that bridge with me, it's burnt. You can't cross it no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't burn bridges. You know what I'm saying? Because I might need to cross that bridge at a later time. It's something I was taught. But man, he burnt that bridge, so it is what it is. Well, you can't say what you're not giving. You might, you never know when you might need to be charitable. I'm from Detroit, and I don't drink alcohol, smoke marijuana. On top of that, Detroit is a tough city. So, I think maybe the mindset of the people out there in Detroit, it's like similar to people here in Chicago. A lot of people here in Chicago focus on the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? But there are diamonds in the rough. Like I got homies I got people, friends and associates. I got friends, associates. I got associates that I know that are in the street, but they still have a mindset where they want to do better. Or they looking to build or do things to ultimately pull them out of that environment, that situation. Then you just got people that just they a product of their environment. You know what I'm saying? So, but there are people out there that have the same background, they're from the same place that you are from, that have the same mindset. They're just far and few between. But you're only 20, so as the longer you live, you'll put yourself in situations where you'll come across people that are like-minded, and you can build a network like that. So you just gotta stay open-minded and be willing to. You can't be in business, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm an introvert. I really don't like meeting new people and things of that nature. But I'll, I'll, I'll open up to talking to people who have like-minded interests. Like I'm not gonna waste time talking to somebody who at this point in my life who can't bring me no value, or vice versa. I just don't have that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with not having a conversation with a person. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be. I could be the person in the room that's antisocial. You dig what I'm saying? If don't nobody in that room, if I don't feel like nobody in that room is going to bring me some type of value, then I'm not going to waste my breath, and vice versa. So, you have to put yourself in situations and know when you're in a situation where you're around people that can ultimately bring you value, and ultimately you can reciprocate that value. And then those are the people that you want to uh, uh, build relationships with as far as networking. He pays you back the way I pay back the IRS. Yeah, well, a little here and a little there. Yeah, I feel you. I don't like that though. I want people to give me the stuff the way I gave it to them. And then you know what else tripped me out, when you loan somebody something, right, and then you ask them for it back, and it could be a small amount, like $100, let's say. Man, what's up with that $100? Man, you tripping on that little funky ass $100? Man, it wasn't funky when I gave it to you. You see what I'm saying? So stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You know what type of people you dealing with. So my dude loaned his brother, my dude loaned his brother $1,000 over 2 years ago and hasn't heard from. Damn. See, that's what I'm saying. And that's family. Yeah, your dude gonna have to chalk that thou wow up. He gonna have to talk that thou wow up and act like that didn't happen at Christmas when they sitting across from each other at the Christmas table. I think Chicago has the most blatant corruption out of every other city. Chicago is probably the most corrupt city out of every other city. The city was built on corruption. Since the city's inception has been corruption. So yes, it's a very corrupt city. State is corrupt. What last out of our last six governors, three went to jail. Um, yeah, so yeah, it is. You know, it's very corrupt. So I believe every relationship you have in your life should be mutually beneficial. I'm out quickly. Yeah, you're right. I think every relationship at a certain point in your life, when you get older, when you're younger, you're just still filling things out and figuring things out. But as you get older and tenured and you got responsibilities, you don't really have time to waste on people who don't bring some type of value in your life. You know what I'm saying? So once you have your set of friends, you know your friends can laugh. You can laugh and play around with your friends, but still, with friends, they'll provide value as well. Like me and my friends, we bounce ideas. We spend our time in the day cracking jokes on each other. The day starts early, you know what I'm saying? Cracking jokes, you know what I'm saying? Cracking jokes on each other, but then after the jokes are cracked, we bouncing ideas. Today, one of my friends, we had this morning we were talking about our investments as far as crypto. You know, crypto is I think we're in a bear trap right now, but ultimately it's in a positive swing than it has. We're still in a bear market. I think we're in an actually bear trap right now. But we're talking about some different cryptos that we're investing in, and I was asking him some questions about um, some artificial intelligence cryptos. I'm looking to invest in some AI cryptos, and he was telling me to put some money in a particular. I don't want to say what it was because it's not financial advice, and I don't want nobody to go out there and run and do it that may not, know what they're doing and just hear me saying something and then go download Coinbase and go do it or whatever and don't know what the hell they doing. So, but yeah, I was asking him about some AI cryptos because I want to invest it. He gave me one, so I put some money into that, and we talked about that. And then I bounced. He was actually advising me on this tech startup that I'm working on as far as transitioning from my thought process of how I wanted to build it out to a whole nother way of doing it. And actually, his way of doing it is actually better because the way that I wanted to do it, like I knew it's one thing that I know I was gonna have a hard time with, but I'm like, man, I'll just cross that bridge when I get to it. But the model that he presented to me today, and mind you, he's telling me it's his good idea, but I don't want to invest in it right now. Um, but he still said you should look at it from this point of view, and the point of view that he gave me, it's just a way better idea than the way I was gonna approach it, right? So now I'm changing. I came home and I started drafting up a whole new business model for this. But these are the people that you want to surround yourself with. Um, when you're a business person, you want to surround yourself with a person who is and you taking their time, right, to advise you on something that they have no financial interest in. So for him to tell me that, right, it took some time, it took some thought. He thought about it before he presented to me and said, "Hey, Mark, maybe you should look at it and approach it from this point of view. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to take whatever time he took yesterday or the day before this morning to think about it and come up with that idea to present it to me when he talked to me, right? So these are friends, and these are ultimately the people that want to surround yourself with, people who want the best for you, like you want for them as well. So yeah, yeah, mutually beneficial at a certain point in your life. I hate to have to ask for my money, but I will and do run my cheese. See, I only loan what I'm willing to lose. Like when people come and they want thousands of dollars, no, I don't loan thousands of dollars. I loan a couple hundred of dollars, and I'm okay with that. If you're willing to jeopardize a friendship, or well, not friendship, associate relationship, or and damage a bridge and burn a bridge that you may need to cross at a later time, then fine. Because I look at me loaning. First of all, I'm not gonna loan nothing that I can't, you know, don't want to not get paid back. I don't want to get into a situation, an aggressive situation, because I have to get my money back. So I'll loan what I'm willing to not get back, and what I'm willing for a person to burn the bridge for. So it may be a different amount for different people. One person might be $150. The next person may be $300, depending on the situation. If a person, I had a cousin, I did a move for and gave her, I think it was the security deposit. This was years ago. Now I see this cousin at like baby showers and stuff like that, but I can't do business with this person no more because they never pay me back. And it was several hundred, like 700-800 bucks. All right, so now this is for a family member, so I understand. Yo, now you can't cross this bridge no more, cuz we can hug at the baby showers and do things like that, but as far as this bread, I just can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? That bridge is burnt, and people will look at you, and I'm not saying like her, but like in general, if you are a person who's acquired things in life and is deemed to be successful, especially with our people, we look like, oh, you got it, you got it. That's how they look at you. Well, man, what you tripping on, man? You got it. Like, man, in fact, I got it. You needed it, and I had it, and I provided it to you, right? And you said you was gonna pay me back. You said you was gonna pay me back. All right, now you're not paying me back. You dig what I'm saying? So guess what? This bridge is burnt. Now, cousin, yeah, I still gotta talk to you. I just won't do no business with you. But associate, the bridge is burnt. Can't do no business together, and we can't communicate no more. You know what I'm saying? We can't communicate. So you get into a situation again where you don't have nobody else to turn to, and you come to me. I'm gonna tell you no. I don't care what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm willing to help a person. If I got it, you got it. If I deem you an associate, man, you got it. But man, do yourself a favor and pay me my money back. Pay me my money back. You know what I'm saying? If you don't pay me my money back, then you didn't burn the bridge. So I invested in this money to burn this bridge. Now, is you gonna keep this bridge from being unburned, or what you gonna do? So it is what it is. So I don't ask for nothing back. If I loan something that I'm willing to lose, because a person can decide if they want to burn that bridge. You know, And at this point in my life, I don't do too much more loaning. It's either the people like have already burnt the bridge, and like I really don't even have that many associates no more. So the older you get, associates start to fall off, and I'm not picking up no new associates. All right, so I'll pick up like networking people as far as business is concerned, um, and maybe future business or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like close associates where, I'm not clubbing like that no more, and things of that nature. Well, man, all right, man, we at this club tonight, man. Meet us there. Like those type of associates. I'm not really doing those things anymore. So um I don't really even have that many associates no more. That I get paid next week. Shit, yeah. I gave my friend $25 for gas for work one time. He blocked me afterwards. People, so their true intentions. Yeah, man, I wouldn't trip on it. That's you paid $25 to get rid of that person. That's how you gotta look at it. That person was never your friend to begin with, and if you thought he was your friend, it cost you $25. Look at it like this: it cost you $25 to see who that person really was. So that was a small investment, all right, to learn who that person was early on, because it might have cost you more money um, down the line if you didn't learn that cheap lesson then. You see what I'm saying? So look at that as a cheap lesson, all right, as a cheap buyout to learn who that person was. All right, because that person could have paid you that $25 back, but that person is still that person, and that that lesson that you learned for $25 might have cost you more money down the line. So look at it like that, man. Don't look at it the way you're looking at it. Just look at it as it cost you $25 to see what that person really was. I'll pay $25 to see a person's true intent. I think that's a great investment. $25 to see if I'm gonna waste my time. Then yeah, let me. It's 25. All right, go ahead and act a goddamn fool. Great. Now I ain't gotta waste years of phony kicking it with you. There you have it. Since the days of Al Capone, yeah, Chicago been corrupt for a long time. My dad always say never give money out unless it's your siblings. I learned the hard way, Mark. Here's the thing: if I give my siblings something, I expect for them to pay it back. If they say, listen, if a person say, "Yo, let me borrow $100, I'm gonna pay you back," then I expect you to pay me back. If they say, "Hey, let me borrow $100, I'm gonna pay you back this day," then I expect them to pay me back that day. Now, if it's a sibling and I know the situation and they say, I'm gonna hold them to it, but I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient than I'm gonna be than an associate. Like siblings and friends, leniency. All right. Associates, no leniency. All right. I only, so like my siblings have children and things of that nature. So, people, things happen in life. People come up on hard times. I haven't had this situation, but if that was the situation, I wouldn't hold my siblings the way I would hold an associate. And I would tell my sibling, now look, this is what you said. Now if you had came to me and said, can I have, you know what I'm saying? Then I would still gave it to you, and I wouldn't expect it. It's all how the person presents, or proposes whatever it is they want to borrow. If they say you're gonna pay you back, then they gotta pay you back. You could just, I would say, you could have just came and say, hey, can I have $100? And I would just still gave you $100, and I would have never thought about it because you said, can I have? So, um, did I invest in Dogecoin? Yeah, I did. Um, I invested it. I had over 1 million Dogecoins, and I sold a bunch of them before it hit all time highs. Um, yeah. So if I would have held all my Dogecoin and sold at all time high, would have made probably an upwards of close to probably $1 million. And I actually showed that before on a live. My Dogecoin, how I dropped, fumbled the bag on Dogecoin. I showed how much Dogecoin, because Robinhood, I have been buying Dogecoin since 2018, 2019, and Robinhood, you can go back and look at the history. And I showed it, man, and I ended up fumbling the bag. I made some good money, but I didn't make what I was holding when my Dogecoin portfolio, as far as what I was holding at one time. If I would have continued to hold, I'd have made a lot of money. And I was buying for less than a penny, you know what I'm saying, back in 2018, 2019. And then, I realized I fumbled the bag once it hit the penny. I'm like, man, they said it would never hit a penny. It hit a penny. And then it kept going up and up and up and up and up. And then by that time, it was like down, fumbled the bag, 12 cents. It was like, damn, it's too much for me to buy back into what I had. when I had like over 1 million Doge coins. So I just had to take, what I was able to get out of the situation. And I didn't even sell at the top. It hit the top at 72 cent. I sold once my transaction went through, I sold a big portion at like 57 and 62 cent. It was I never forget the day. I believe it was May 8th, 2021. It was the day when Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live. And that's when I exited most of my majority of my stake in Dogecoin. I made good money, but I didn't make what I should have made. Am I the only one not invested in crypto? I don't know. So a lot of people probably not invested in crypto. But if you're gonna invest, I think now is the right time. While we're in this bear market, invest now while the coins are cheap. So when we get back into the bull market, you can cash out. You know, cryptos to me is a lot better than stock. I mean, what other industry can you make? Man, people in crypto making 1,000 times their money, 10,000 times, 100 times their money, depending on when you buy in. You know what I'm saying? You buy in early. Some of these cryptos just go parabolic. You know, so it all depends on the crypto you buy in and if you buy in at the right time. But I think if you are going to enter, don't wait till the bull market when everyone's talking about it and the prices are high. You want to buy in now during the bear market when everything is cheap. Right at 36 years of age, a person has lived a half natural life, no time to waste on people that are not beneficial. Almost 8 billion people in the world. Move on to the next one. Agreed. I got a little bit invested in Dogecoin. Yeah, I mean Dogecoin is good. I think it's going to run back up. I think ultimately it will hit $1 next bull cycle. But there's other coins that are cheaper than Dogecoin that I think have a lot of potential as well. We'll be heading into a depression soon. I don't know about that. Enlighten me though. I got the app called Robinhood. Yeah, use Robinhood. You also want to use Coinbase. Then there's other apps you can use for crypto. I don't keep my crypto on the exchange. Some cryptos I keep on the exchange, most I don't. So, but that's advanced. You get into wallets that aren't on the exchange. Um, that's something a little bit more advanced. If you're just starting out, then yeah, you can start out with Robinhood or a Coinbase, and leave your money on the exchange if you want. And a world war, enlighten me. So it's like a credit type of deal. Crypto is more like stock. It's not credit. Robinhood is good for beginners using. Stop losses seems to be obsolete on there. Um, let me see. Robinhood's good for beginners. Use stop loss seems to be obsolete on there. Yeah, I haven't used Robinhood in a few years. I exited out of all my stocks in 2020. So when the stock market was really, really booming during the Trump era, like man, if you were playing the stock market then those was like that was like the Wild West, man. Everything was overpriced on the stock market, man. It was crazy. That was a time to be alive, I tell you that. Um, and I took that money out and then I put all that in the crypto, ran that money up in 2021, and then I exited crypto in November 2021. I exited majority, about 90% in 2021. Waited for the bear market to come. When the bear market came last year, I started buying back in. And I buy in every day. I got it set to buy certain coins every day and then certain coins every week. And then I just dollar cost average in. And then when the bull cycle comes back around, I'll be in good positions with hefty bags. So, and be ready to exit again. And that's how you do it. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Yeah, I haven't had any success with Robinhood. To be honest, I'm skeptical of crypto. I'm just gonna keep it 55. I hear you. A lot of people are. I know a lot of people that are skeptical of it. They say it's a scam, things of that nature, because it's not regulated. But just don't be willing to. Don't invest what you're not willing to lose, or you're not willing to try or trial. You know, if you're scared, then obviously you're not gonna go for the gusto. See, me, I dollar cost average, so I'm investing a little bit every day, a little bit every week. So as time goes on, that investment, you see that money sitting in and it's growing, but it's also growing as the price of the crypto go up. And it can go parabolic. So I made a lot of money in crypto in 2021. So um, even things like Cardano. I started buying it in Cardano at 8 cents. It went to $3. I had thousands of Cardano, because I bought it at 8 cents and I continued to buy. I stopped buying Cardano when it hit $1. All right. So once it hit $1, I stopped buying it. Rolled it up to $3. I didn't sell at $3.10 because I wanted to get to 5. I was expecting it to get to 5. I ended up exiting Cardano. Majority of my shares of Cardano like $2 and some change. But that's just an example of how you can buy something at 8 cents and ride it up. I bought Hex at a penny. I exited out of Hex 100%. I exited out. It hit all-time highs at 50 cents. I sold at the top. That was one of the ones that I got at the top. I sold at 49 cents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and I had thousands of shares of it. I was buying it at a penny, so Mike Poor says he always burns his bridges. Don't loan money to Mike Poor, cause he gonna get you. Definitely everything on sale right now. Smart money is buying up around these times. Yeah, buy up. Just think about those cats who bought into Bitcoin early. A lot of cats that bought into Bitcoin early is a lot of the billionaires you see now. The Winklevoss twins. Who else? A lot of these angel investors companies, these angel investor companies, venture capitalists that you see, a lot of those are early Bitcoin adopters. When you listen to them on podcasts and stuff, and they ask them, how did you amass your wealth? A lot of them say, man, I was an early adopter of Bitcoin. You know, I always say, like, man, I heard of this Bitcoin thing back then, but I wouldn't have been able to buy it because it wasn't on any exchanges. You had to have, like, you really had to know how to mine it and get it back then. And if you weren't technologically savvy, um, where you needed to be to get your hands on Bitcoin, then you just weren't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So those people who, were savvy and smart, um, back then as far as acquiring Bitcoin, that's why they're billionaires today. But yeah, people that bought it back then, they're rich as hell now. So watch out for Ethereum. I think is going to be good. Yeah, I bought in Ethereum at like 200 and some dollars, like maybe 3 years ago. I didn't hold on to it. I ended up selling it. I sold it for a gain, but not like the gains from last year. I sold it. I think I bought it for like two something. I sold it for four, so way before the bull run of last year. Good evening, mentor. I love that saying. Your network is your network. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. 684 Dad, what's going on? All right, so yeah, so man, that's it, man. If there's not no more questions or no more topics people want to talk about, then I'm gonna get out of here, man, because I'm tired. And I'll be back Sunday with another topic. I guess I'll do a cool topic Sunday. When I do cool topics, more people come in. People don't like boring topics like networking and things like that. But what's crazy to me is, like somebody said earlier, they'll pay $1,000 for a course, and then they'll come complain that this is something that they could have Googled. So it is what it is. So any chance I get to hear other people um, that I feel like have some type of value uh to me, I listen to them. You know what I'm saying? I listen. So, you know, but people rather spend money and buy stuff that they can Google. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna get out of here if there's no more questions or no more comments. Then I'm gonna get out of here. Watch out for Ethereum. Think it's going to be good. Uh, I think. Oh yeah, I read that one already. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, that's right. He on Facebook. All right, he on Facebook. All right, no more questions. All right, appreciate everybody for coming out. When is the next show? Sunday. Sunday, I got a mentorship class Sunday morning, and then I got a show Sunday night. I got to come up with a topic for Sunday. I'm gonna do something cool Sunday. I don't know yet. It'll be something cool. I might just do an open floor Sunday. Open chat, open floor. Ask what you want. Um, why don't I stream to TikTok? Because the platform doesn't have the API set up to stream to TikTok. I downloaded 4.0 today because it was released today, and it allows you to stream to Instagram, but it's not as simple as like streaming to Facebook and streaming to YouTube. You got to put the stream key and all that stuff in. And it had a tutorial. I just didn't have time to go through the tutorial, so I may open my streams up to um, Instagram, but right now uh, this platform doesn't allow TikTok. No platform allows TikTok. StreamYard, nobody. Um, and as far as me going on TikTok, man, I still don't see the value in it, man. I still don't see the value for me. For me, I don't really see the value in it. I think me. I'm cool with the little core audience that I have on YouTube, and I'm fine with that. Well, I'm gonna look at it then when I get off live. I seen I saw Instagram pop up with the 4.0, but I didn't see TikTok. But I'll check it out. I'll check it out. All right. All right. So if there's no more questions, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody for coming out, and I will see you guys Sunday. I'm out.